Breaking news coming in, viewers. The hearing in the top court has begun on Kashmiri files. Now remember, the Supreme Court is hearing a plea seeking SIT probe into the targeted killings of Kashmiri Hindus in 1990s, which led to their exodus from the valley. The hearing on the plea comes when a curative petition filed by Roots in Kashmir is pending in the apex court, seeking a probe either by the Central Bureau of Investigation or the NIA into mass murders and genocide of Kashmiri Hindus during 1989 to 1990. A bench of Justices B.R. Gawai and C.T. Ravikumar are now going to be hearing this petition filed by NGO We the Citizens, seeking direction to the rehabilitation of those who migrated out of the valley, and also that a SIT be formed to identify those who aided and abetted the genocide. Let me go across to Nilashish joining us with more details. Nilashish, the all-important Supreme Court hearing has begun. What more can you tell us?
Well, yes, absolutely. The hearing has begun, and in fact, the Supreme Court is of the view that this is a purely in the domain of the executive. The court is asking the petitioners, why do they not approach the government? Now, the lawyer in the case, Parun Kumar Sinha, has submitted that not only genocide but also exodus happened.
Jagmohan's book gives a vivid account of what happened, but successive state governments did nothing. Now, the Supreme Court has asked the council to withdraw his petition and give a representation to the government, in fact, in front of appropriate authorities. So the Supreme Court saying that this is not something that they would want to listen to. Clearly, breaking news coming in that the petition has been withdrawn, in fact, by the NGO, and now permission has been granted to approach the government authorities, in fact. So the matter has been disposed of by the Supreme Court. As we speak, the petition has been withdrawn, as the Supreme Court said, and permission has been granted to approach the authorities as far as this case is concerned. So no relief as such in terms of the petition by the NGO We the Citizens, but liberty has been granted, in fact, to approach the state administration.
All right, this is big because no relief at the moment, Nilashish, and what we can tell our viewers is that the petitioners withdrawn the petition after he was given liberty to approach the appropriate authorities. Now, what next? Because a lot of hopes were really pinned on the top court at the moment, finally seeking justice. Now, this was certainly a plea filed by We the Citizens, but what can we expect in the immediate next?
Well, as far as this petition is concerned, of course, between the...
Nilashish, I'll come back to you. Harish has been getting us those updates from the top court. Harish, yes, what can you tell us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Harish. Go ahead.
Yes, it's a very, very significant development as the Supreme Court has put the ball in the government's court. The Supreme Court at the outset itself said this is a matter pertaining to the exclusive domain of the executive, so the petitioner should ideally go before the government of India or the state government, which is the appropriate authority in this regard, because first the Supreme Court asked the lawyer Barun Sinha, who had appeared for We the Citizens, whether he had approached the government before approaching the Supreme Court. When Barun Sinha said that he had not approached the government, the Supreme Court said first you approach the executive, that is the government, and then come to the Supreme Court. This is a very, very significant development because there is now hope for the Kashmiri Pandits, because earlier this is the same court which had dismissed the petition, giving no hope to the Kashmiri Pandits, but today there is a ray of hope as the Supreme Court has given liberty to the NGO We the Citizens to approach the government. Now the ball is clearly in the court of the government.
All right, let's go across to Amit Raina, who himself is a petitioner in the case. Mr. Raina, what do you make of this big development coming in from the top court? The ball certainly at the moment is in the government's court. The court says it's in the domain of the executive, so rather approach the government first.
For 32 years, we have been tossed as a football between executive and judiciary. And this is the same judiciary which went and took us so motu cognizance of many other offences, which include Gujarat as well as 1984 state rights. So I honestly, because judiciary for last 32 years has not acted upon multiple representations made by the Kashmiri Pandit community. That is why the doors of the judiciary were knocked. And if judiciary today doesn't want to take responsibility on delivering justice to the citizens of this country, then honestly, I don't know, because I am very disappointed with this judgment. We were hoping that Supreme Court of India will order the executive and get things moving. If they can interfere in something as nonsensical as BCCI election, I'm very sure lives of thousands of people who have been martyred and killed in the name of jihad and terrorism deserve much more respect and much more seriousness.
The Supreme Court, Mr. Raina, says you withdraw the petition and give a representation to the Government of India and other appropriate authorities. Now, given what the top court has maintained, how soon do you think something will be done, action will be taken on this very front? Because like you said, we've seen this go to and fro for a very, very long time without any concrete result come out of it.
We will again go to the executive, try to meet the Honorable Home Minister and Prime Minister. It is not that we have not met them. I have myself met Mr. Amit Shah multiple times with requests on the same. And since the executive had not delivered what was expected from them, that is why the doors of the judiciary were knocked. So if they still want us to continue playing football, and I'm using these words with responsibility, that the courts of this country and the system of this country wants us to take revenge and not seek justice, then so be it.
Yes, because Mr. Rana, the demand was to constitute an SIT to identify those who aided and abetted the genocide of Hindu and Sikh communities between 1989 and 1990. And in that sense, the demand has been the same. Since, this kind of a plea was taken up with the top court earlier as well when it was dismissed, that's been the one long-standing demand all throughout.
Yes, that has been a long time. And what are we asking? Even the petition which Roots in Kashmir has filed, we are saying, please at least get the status report from police. And if you think that these cases cannot be investigated further, please order the closure of these cases. Because what you are doing today, you are keeping the wounds of the victims, the survivors open. At least give them the sense of closure. And if this court of this country doesn't believe in even giving a sense of closure to the victims of terrorism jihad, then I honestly have nothing to say.
Mr. Rana, but do you think it's a departure from the 2017 order that the court had passed, wherein it said that evidence is unlikely to be available at this late juncture?
I think this is my understanding. I think given the backlash that order had from the rest of the country, I think the judiciary has found an easier way out and passed on the responsibility to the executive. Then they should have taken a step forward and taken a step forward to deliver justice.
Okay, hoping for the best really, Mr. Amit Rana. Thank you for taking out your time and speaking to us here on Times Now. Let me go back to Harish, who is with us now to get us more details and put this in perspective on what the top court had implied. Yes, Harish.
Yes, the Supreme Court has made a very significant comment saying that this is the exclusive domain of the executive, and the decision in this regard has to be first taken by the executive, that is the government of India or the Jammu Kashmir government. So this is from the side of the Kashmiri Pandit, this is a very welcome observation, because the Supreme Court last time had not only dismissed their petition and also dismissed the review petition, following which they have to file a curative petition, but today they have given some hope by saying that first we approach the government, let us know what is the government, what is the stand of the government. We will have the benefit of the stand of the government, and after that, if you don't get any relief, come back to us. So this is a clear message from the Supreme Court that first the Supreme Court will not directly intervene, because and then first the Kashmiri Pandit should approach the government. So it is a marked difference from the stand taken last time, because first earlier the Supreme Court had outrightly dismissed the petition, saying that now 27 years have passed, and
that's exactly what we were asking Mr. Raina as well, that this certainly is a departure from the 2017 order. Let me go across to Mr. Sushil Pandit joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Pandit, how do you read into the Supreme Court's observation? It says this is in the domain of executive and must approach the state government or the central government. So the onus certainly now lies on the center. Will they reopen Kashmiri files?
I am baffled, frankly. In 2017, they had simply tossed our petition away, saying it is not even worthy of admitting for any kind of arguments. Even the issue of merit wasn't considered. And now they have virtually done the same. Instead of throwing it away, they have asked the petitioners to withdraw the petition and approach the government. This is a serious miscarriage of justice. There is a huge flaw. We have seen in all previous cases, Supreme Court even take a suo motu notice. Despite 3 decades and more having passed, there is absolutely no hope for justice.
Mr. Pandit, don't you think that the centre can also perhaps at this point in time come in, constitute an SIT, demand an SIT probe?
Listen, this is up to the Supreme Court as to what they deem fit. We have only said that victims and survivors have been awaiting justice. How that justice is to be dispensed is up to the lordships in the Supreme Court. Who are we to suggest one or the other? That happens only once that the petition is admitted for at least an argument, at least the examination of the matter in detail. They have not even admitted the petition. It hasn't even come to the stage where we could plead for one relief or the other. Do you realize that they have not even admitted the petition?
No, because earlier on, like you said, in 2017, the top court had outrightly dismissed the petition. Now it's saying that you can reach out to the centre, to the concerned authorities, and if you don't find any sort of relief, then you may come back to us. I'll have to leave it at that with you, Mr. Pandit. But yes, this is